11.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Microsoft's Chief Executive Officer, Steve Ballmer.
Well, thanks. I am beyond excited to have a chance to be here today at WPC. I have to say, and I know I've said this before if you've been to previous WPCs, but I'm going to share it again today, well, privately for you. About the most exciting thing I get to do in any 12-month period of time is come to this conference. Why this conference, you might say? Well, you know, we love our partners at Microsoft. You know that. Is that the reason? Yeah, that's part of it. But I find that our partners have perhaps the most interesting and unique set of insights on our business of anybody on the planet. You're involved, you care, you spend time and energy studying and understanding what we're up to. You take the time to translate these technologies into the solutions that really change people's lives. And yet you are independent business people who are coming to work every day cheering for us, but also understanding that you need to consider alternatives. So you're pushing us to improve our performance. Customers aren't really quite as all in as you are, and our own employees have a hard time really pushing us as objectively as our partners. And as John said, we had 95% of our business through partners. I can't find the last 5% myself. So I'm just going to say we've got 100% of our business with partners. And so I got to say thanks for pushing us, and thank you very, very much for your phenomenal work. Last year's WPC was, for me, scary. Scary. Why? If you go back over the last 3 or 4 Worldwide Partner Conferences, we've been talking about the cloud. I think if you go back 5 years ago, we mentioned the cloud. If you go back 4 years ago, we started talking about the transition that we were going to make and the industry was going to make to the cloud. 3 years ago, we talked about it in some detail. 2 years ago, a little more detail. Along the line, I'd say some of the feedback we got from partners was, we're not sure we like the cloud. We're not sure. The cloud is a disruptor. It's a disruptor for all of us. And disruption can be hard to process. Well, why was last year scary? Last year, I basically said at this meeting, we're all in on the cloud, 100%, and we need partners who want to come with us. Doesn't mean that the business is all transitioned in the last 12-month period of time, but we're all in. It is where things are going. And we need you to decide whether you're coming with us. So to see 15,000 people here at the Staples Center coming with us, pushing to the cloud, pushing Windows Azure, pushing Office 365, that to me is exciting. After me being a little nervous last year that some of you might say, hey, we can't quite be all in the cloud. In fact, we got 41,000 partners now who identify themselves primarily as cloud partners. people who've come into the Microsoft ecosystem in some senses for the first time because of the opportunities represented by the cloud. So I want to thank you for all your support. I want to thank you for making this transition, this journey to the cloud with us, because it is going to be one of the most beneficial transitions for all users of information technology around the planet. It's disruptive technologically. We're redoing things in our business model. You're going to have to continue to remap and reskill and retrain yourselves for this new world. But I'm very appreciative of the fact that you're making the transition with us. Last week, I had a chance to do probably the second most exciting thing I get to do every year, and that's to, or at least this year, I had a chance to go to New York and meet with a group of about 500 university students who are competing in a competition that we call the Imagine Cup. We've been running this. We've got some Imagine Cup lovers down here. It's a competition we've been running for 9 years. Students in over 183 countries in university level formed together into teams. We had over 380,000 students start out in the competition. That's very good for all of us who need to employ talented young people with skills in these areas. And they came together to work on programming projects with a team from their school, and in general focused in on the applications of technology to some of society's most important problems. In a sense, you could say it sounds a lot like what our partners do. You form teams, you come together, and you attack some of the most important and interesting and valuable business and social problems in the world. You get a little bit of a different perspective when everybody participating is basically 18 to 22 years old, but you get enthusiasm and energy. And certainly, as I had a chance to look at what they're doing and how these students have revectored their time and attention to the cloud, it was very eye-opening and inspiring. So I want to show you just a brief video of some of them talking about the work that they're doing and the work that I'm sure they'll be doing working for some of the companies in this room over the course of the next several years. So let's take a little bit of a look at what some of the young, soon-to-be Microsoft partners are up to. Roll the video.
Hello everybody, I'm here participating in Imagine Cup 2011 in New York City.
Project is a malaria intelligence system. It's a system that fights against malaria, which is one of the world's most deadliest diseases. So we are using state-of-the-art Microsoft technologies and the Azure cloud platform to revolutionize the fight against malaria.
It will help the blind people to make their life better, so it will really impact the world.
We're bringing to every single kid a personal virtual teacher.
We were inspired by visiting villages that were suffering through natural disaster and received no help at all. So our solution is that we're going to create a new social media that will connect these people to the volunteers who could potentially help them.
We as Africans, we can change the world by Microsoft technologies. We had used Bing Maps, Windows Azure,
Windows Presentation Foundation, Windows Communication Foundation.
We're using XNA technology with the power of Azure.
Microsoft technologies are very cool because they allow us to create a very powerful system rapidly and easily.
What we are doing here is real. What we're doing here is not just for fun, it's serious and it will impact many lives, and it all comes from a student.
We are passionate about what we are doing. There are the resources available. Microsoft's platforms are there. So we know using all of this combined together, we can change the world.
Whether you're hearing from a partner in Japan about earthquake and tsunami relief, or we see the interesting and exciting work that students can conceptualize, it should remind all of us what the real motivator and excitement and fun is of being in this business. And that's to transform society, to make it a better place. But we all have something else we have to get done still every day. We come to work and we're trying to build great businesses and employ more people and drive growth and help customers improve their businesses. And certainly I understand that as you come to this conference, one of the things that's most important, one of the things you're thinking about and evaluating and coming to a point of view on is, how's Microsoft doing? Are they driving hard? Are they pumping? Are they bringing out great new products? Are they innovating? Are they coming forward with the stuff that we as partners can continue to bet on and invest in for our future? And so I thought I'd give you a little bit of kind of a, let's call it a report card, or it's a state of the state, so to speak, on how we're doing and how we're doing with you, in fact, in building great businesses. If you look at Microsoft, and people like to say we got a lot of products, and in some senses, I think that's a fair characterization. But in some senses, we're relatively simple. We're involved in creating either the platforms or the hardware for three major devices: small screens, big screens, and middle-sized screens. Sometimes called phones, PCs, and TVs. Sometimes we'll talk about the PC and the slate as separate devices, but we're trying to drive forward the platform for intelligent devices. At the same time, we're investing in core scenarios on the back end, on the server and service side, that become applications and tools that you can use to complete the experience. Bing, Office, our server and Azure platform, and of course, Microsoft Dynamics. And across the board, the last 12 months, I think, was really quite phenomenal for us. We certainly have had great business success. We'll announce our financial results here over the next several weeks, but consistently through the first 3 quarters, we have delivered absolutely outstanding double-digit growth rates in our Office product line, in our server product line. And a lot of that is entirely a testament to the work that has been done by our partners across the globe in really driving the business. The level of innovation and new products that we've seen across this lineup is quite remarkable. From Bing to Windows Phone to Connect, we're talking about just a few things, in some cases, didn't even exist 12 months ago, and we're driving forward. Microsoft's absolutely unique in both the breadth and the level of integration across the product line. And both the breadth and the integration are important. We're the only company out there that's investing both on-premise and in the cloud. The amount that you learn from working in both environments that helps you in the other is dramatic. We brought our Connect sensor product to market today this year for the entertainment world. And yet the amount of interest that we see from business customers and partners in using that sensor in commercial applications is really high. Competitively, we've done very well this year, and I'll run through that, but Bing is up in market share. Windows Server, 76% market share, and Azure is really climbing at a very, very rapid rate. Dynamics, we've switched out our competitors' customers and brought them into our fold. Office and Office 365, basically the other guys have yet to really